this is Kevin Benedict, SMAC analyst with Cognizant. That represents social mobile analytics and cloud. And I'm here with Jeff Wallace, who's practice leader of Cognizant Mobility. Thanks for joining us today, Jeff.
Thank you, Kevin.
I've got a question for you.
Sure.
You work internationally, you work with all the companies and anything that needs to happen here. But I have this burning question. How does a multinational company, a very large company with lots of different businesses underneath, how do they possibly go about creating the enterprise mobility strategy?
Sure, and that is a common question. As you know, Cognizant's client base is Fortune 1000 organizations that are most of which are multinational. So this is a very common theme for us to address. And I think it's a misnomer to say there's an enterprise mobility strategy. I think at the enterprise level, you can have overarching themes, objectives, potentially overarching initiatives to drive revenue or to empower a field workforce or what have you. But when you look at it at a true global basis, or even at a regional basis, you often have to break that down. And you could have different answers. There's no one size fits all. In different markets, in different countries, in different business units, you might actually have different mobility solutions that address the issues of that unit or that region, et cetera. So we have had an example of a client of ours that asked us to do a mobility strategy for them in their APAC region, which consisted of 7 different countries. And we had to look at the different dynamics and characteristics from a mobility perspective in terms of penetration of different mobile OSs and mobile devices, to connectivity, 3G, 4G penetration and availability from a connectivity perspective. You have to look at it at the local level and understand what's possible. And in certain markets, for example, as you may imagine, in certain countries in a region, they might be more advanced, wealthier nations that can afford, say, more expensive devices. iOS, often thought of as a higher priced mobility, OS. So they might use more iPads or iOS devices, iPhones, iPods, etc. Whereas in other markets that might be, again, just for example, poorer countries that don't have the same disposable income, so to say, to spend on those kinds of things, might need to look at Android solutions, which typically will have a lower price point and an entry point. So there is no one size fits all. That question of what is the global enterprise mobility strategy has to be broken down into those localized components and addressed at that level, be it a local geography or at a business unit level.
But are there some parts of the strategy, perhaps mobile platforms or security policies, that you could extend horizontally across many different parts of the company?
Absolutely. I think you hit on a good example. Security is always one. Data security really wouldn't vary in a local region. However, certain capabilities of use of data, depending on what it was, might vary in different markets. Certain European markets have different protection of data laws and regulations that need to be adhered to, whereas neighboring countries might have much looser regulatory environments from that perspective. So again, it does get localized, but security is a good horizontal. Applications, even at the app level, what is the app function, the use case? That can be horizontal, but it might be deployed on a different form factor, on a different OS in one region or one country, even though the use case is the same. So the use case would be kind of that horizontal, whereas the localization of it can be tailored to those individual markets or business units.
Mobility is complex.
If it was easy, we wouldn't be here.
Jeff, I want to thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Absolutely.